and this one is in for the prompt of I can never remember what the classes are called. I'm so good at this. So what's next? I don't know. Like, I know it's the last in the series and that it should be wrapping everything up, but I was convinced that things were going to go wrong. Hi everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with week 1 of the magical readathon. So if you have been here for a while, you know that this is my favorite readathon to do. I've been doing it since the beginning. It was like my very first year here on YouTube, I think, is when it started. So I've done it every single year and I've seen it transform into what it is. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, hi, welcome. I am obsessed with this readathon. And it is hosted by G over at Book Roast. I'll leave the announcement for this round as well as my TBR. And if you are just super new and want like all the information, she does have a video where she's explaining the entire world that she's created. So I think that's linked in the TBR, so feel free to check that out. But long story short, this is basically a readathon where it's like a role-playing game. You create a character and you go to magical school. And there's 2 versions of it. You have the Spring Equinox, which is in April, and the Autumn Equinox, which is in August. And so we are in the new Spring Equinox for this year, and you just kind of keep adding on to your character. You pick a career, and based on what career you want, you have specific classes that you have to take. And in the spring, this time around there's 14 classes, but I only have to take 8 classes for the careers that I want, which is Master of Elements, which I did last year, and then she added a new one that was called Wild Form Druid. So Master of Elements has 6 and Wild Form Druid has 8. So I have quite a few books on my TBR, as you probably have seen, but I've decided to start out with a fun one to kind of make the first weekend of this readathon a little extra interesting, because I'm going to be starting with this book, which is the 4th book in the Percy Jackson series, The Battle of Labyrinth, and this one is in for the prompt of I can never remember what the classes are called. I'm so good at this. Art of Illusion, which is to match your clothes to the color of the cover of the book in some way. So I'll show you what I'm wearing. I've got on some yoga pants and I'm gonna actually I'm gonna go work out with my mom in a second. So I decided to start the day off with the right colors. I'm kind of just guessing on this one because I don't have a lot of this color. Like, this blue is not a whole lot. So I found some pants that kind of match the different colors of blue. I don't know. We're just gonna like see what I've got and work with it. We're probably gonna do a lot within this color, honestly, because I don't have a whole lot. But I've decided to start with this one because I ended the month with the 3rd book, and I'm actually very interested in this series now. So we're starting this one. This series follows Percy Jackson, who I think many people will probably know what this book is about because it's very, 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 very popular series. But this one is basically, it follows our main character Percy Jackson, who is a demigod, which means that one of his parents, in this case his father, is a Greek god, and it's set in like modern times. And so there's kind of this big bad titan guy that has come out in the 1st book to kind of be the series villain and is causing havoc. And so he is with some of his friends from this camp called Camp Half-Blood, which is where the demigods go to kind of learn skills to survive because monsters are always after them. Him and some of his friends are trying to figure out what's going on. There's prophecy that may or may not relate to him, things like that. So this is the fourth out of the 5 installments. So we are nearing the end, but I didn't want to waste too much time between the last book and this book. I just had this urge to pick it up. So we're going to make this weekend the weekend of blue clothes. I don't know what we're going to do with that. We shall see. But I thought I'd go ahead and start this video, kind of explain to you guys what we're starting the week out with. I don't really know what it's going to be what's going to look like. Hopefully we'll have a lot of fun stuff to show you, but stay tuned as I read lots of things, and I hope you guys enjoy.
These skies have a different light, why noise that keeps me up at night. I can't help but think back to you. I wish that I could find a face that I would recognize. I replay the memory of you. It's been hard, you know I wanted to stay, caught us off guard, but there was no other way. Did you wait? 'Cause I've been counting hasn't changed. Life took us far apart, but it never took away my heart. Have you been holding it safe? 'Cause it's been hard. You know I wanted to stay, caught us off guard, but there was no other way. Did you wait? 'Cause I've been counting the days, and I'm calling up to say I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. And I know that it's hard with you, but I'm coming home. I'm coming home. We'll stay up till morning and head out exploring, make up for months that we've missed. 'Cause the cold air is calling and my head's recalling the moment that I was convinced. We'll stay up till morning and head out exploring, make up for months that we've missed. 'Cause your lips are calling and my heart's recalling the way I could never resist. It's been so hard, but no, I wanted to stay, caught us off guard, but there was no other way. Did you wait? 'Cause I've been counting the days, and I'm calling up to say I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. And I know that it's hard with you, but I'm coming home to you.
Hi friends, it is Tuesday. So it's been a couple of days, but I'm here to let you know that I finished the Battle of the Labyrinth yesterday. When I was at work, I finished it earlier in the day. I just haven't had a chance to come tell you about it quite yet. So that's what I'm here to do. I finished my very first book for the Magical Readathon. I haven't put it in to her stats thing that she does through Google Docs, so I need to do that. But I finished this one, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. This is one that is probably one of my favorites in the series so far. I think number 1 is still my favorite just because it does set everything up. It like introduces the world, and seeing Percy just kind of like discover the world and his place in it and the camp and all that kind of stuff is really interesting to me. But this is a very close second. It is crazy action-packed, non-stop action-packed, but not in the sense of like the last book I read, which was action-packed with a little bit of exhaustion thrown in because it was just so action-packed. And this one is not like that. I'm also noticing Percy's getting older in this one. So at the end of this book, he turns 15. So he's noticing girls for the first time. So we get a little bit of hints of dumb boy stupidity at this age, but like possible female interests in some of his friends, and it's just really sweet to see. So I'm wondering if that plays a part, because I always love a good romance. I like need a couple to root for, even if the romance is like a very small part of the story. I need to root for a romance in a book, and I'm wondering if because there is somewhat of one, maybe a little bit they're hinting at it, that maybe that's why I've been enjoying the last couple more. But I really enjoyed this one a lot, and it sets up the end very well. I'm interested to see how the next one's gonna go. Once I was done with this one, I had the urge to like immediately pick up the next one. But again, I have other plans, so that will have to wait till next month. But I did it. I read this one in a couple of days. I wore, as you saw, my 3 different random blue outfits because I do have a lot of blue. Like I found some that was like hiding, but not a whole lot, weirdly enough. I have a lot of, like I had so many good shirts if it was warmer out, and I had like short sleeves and things to choose from, but because it's still a little cold, I didn't have nearly as much to choose from. But that was a fun prompt. I really enjoyed kind of like trying to find things that worked with this. That was fun. I might have to do that again in the future. But yay, first one done. And I know I've already told you what class this was for, but I've already forgotten, and that is Art of Illusion. So, what's next? I don't know. I've actually been reading a couple of books on the side. One of them is a buddy read, but it doesn't fit it with any of the prompts in the Magical Readathon, so I'm not really going to talk about it. So my friend Taylor, it's a historical romance. But there is one that I've started that I have slotted for a prompt. I don't need this prompt for my careers, but I've slotted it for a prompt. And y'all let me know in the comments if this is cheating, okay? Because this is a little beyond believable, okay? So I started Kingdom of the Feared by Carrie Maniscalco, which is the third book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series, which I am absolutely loving and I've become obsessed with. So this book, as you can see, I don't own it. I have it from my library. I want to own it. One of these days I will get it, but I'm waiting for the paperback to come out before I do that. But the plan is to one day own it. I have it slotted. What prompt is this? For Inscription, which is to read a book from your top or highest shelf. Okay, I'm going to move you guys because I don't know if you can tell. Ignore the fact that I haven't unboxed Fairy Loots. I have the first two in the series right there at the very top of my shelf. So I don't own the third one quite yet. But when I do, it'll go there, which is the top shelf. Does that count? I'm feeling like it doesn't because that seems just a little too extra. I'm sure I could fit it in for something else if I really needed to, but I don't know. Okay, so that's where I need your help. Let me know if you guys think that that's cheating or not. I'm leaning, like I said, I'm leaning towards it is just because like I don't actually own it, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But that's what I'm currently reading. So I don't know if I want to talk about it here or not because I'm not sure if it will count. But either way, it doesn't count for my career. So next, I think, I'm not sure. I have options for what I'm going to end up reading next, but I don't know what I want. And that's an issue. Looking at my TBR, I've put it in my little cart in the corner. So that's what I'm thinking about. As far as what's required, I am debating. I'm not sure which one I'm going to start. So next clips will probably let you know, but I'm either going to start The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, which is the first book in this series, or The Belle of Belgrave Square by Mimi Matthews, which is the second book in this series. So I either have a historical romance or a fantasy. I'm leaning more towards this one just because I'm afraid to put too much space between the first and the second one, and this one is like a companion story where like you need the first one to set up, I think, the events of this one, but I don't need one to read the other. So one of these will be read next. I'm not sure which one though. I'm going for a blue theme here. I don't know if you could tell. Maybe I'll read them back to back, and this week will just be the week of blue for this readathon. I don't know, themed vlog randomly. But one of these books is what I'm going to be reading next. Now, The Ballad of Never After is for Elemental Studies, which is flowers on the cover, so you've got some there. And then The Belle of Belgrave Square is for Spells and Incantations, which is a book that's between 389 and 415 pages. And I think, if I remember correctly, this is exactly 400 pages. So one of these will be next. I'm not sure which one, though. So I'll let you know. But that's where I'm at. I'm reading some stuff as beyond the Percy Jackson book, but again, it's not for this readathon, so I didn't really want to talk. Like, I felt like it didn't really need to be in this video, but let me know what you think about Kingdom of the Feared, because like, I'm in love. That book is going to get 5 stars, and I'm barely halfway through it. Like, I just already can tell, you know? So random thoughts with Kelsey on books that may or may not be part of this readathon. But that's my update. I finished Percy Jackson, which is great. I'm loving that. It's definitely getting better with each book in the series. So it's exciting. I just have this bowl of raspberries that it's been staring at me the whole time filming because I'm so hungry.
These skies have a different light, white noise that keeps me up at night. I can't help but think back to you. I wish that I could find a face that I would recognize. I replay the memory of you. It's been hard, you know I wanted to stay caught us off guard, but there was no other way. Did you wait? 'Cause I've been counting the days, and I'm calling home to say I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. And I know
Hello. It is Thursday. It's been a couple of days since I talked to you last, so I thought I'd come here and give you some updates. I talked to some of my friends, and I think that we're gonna see. Let me know you guys' thoughts, but I'm gonna act like Kingdom of the Wicked, not Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Feared, I was telling you about last time, works for the prompt that I have it slotted for. So I thought, since I mentioned it, I would kind of tell you my general thoughts on it, because I did finish it and I'm going to try to make it fit for this readathon in some way. Not something that I required for my career, but something that I have enjoyed. So I finished that one I finished that one late last night before going to bed. I gave it 5 stars. I loved this one. I don't know. I think the second one might be my favorite, but I liked this one almost as much as the second one. There's just elements of it that I really enjoyed. We are getting answers to a lot of our questions that were posed in the second book. Well, some from the first book, but that rolled over to the second book. The second book really opened our eyes to some extra stuff, brought us to kind of a different setting. And this one finally answered a lot of the questions. Now, we did start off within the first 100 pages, we got a huge reveal of something, and then a bunch of stuff spiraled from that. So at first, when that was revealed, I was very surprised, because I figured that was the big thing, but then it just kind of spiraled from there. So it just kind of kept going. But I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars. I love the tension between our main couple, which is Amelia and Wrath. I think it's so sweet, and it was nice to see them in a next step of their relationship. The last couple have been kind of forbidden love elements, and so this one kind of takes everything to the next level. I will say that last night, I think I had 15% of the book still left to read. And I was on the edge of my seat, not because anything particularly exciting was going on in the books, but because I still had that much percentage, and I was convinced something bad was going to happen. I know it's the last in the series and that it should be wrapping everything up, but I was convinced that things were going to go wrong. What I liked about the ending is that it wrapped up the things that it needed to wrap up, but then there were some side plots and side character stuff that was kind of introduced. Well, it was kind of introduced in the first book, but it was really introduced at the beginning of this book, and that was sort of wrapped up. So there were things, the big overarching plot thing wrapped up in a way that I felt made sense, and I enjoyed. I actually liked how it wrapped up. There's definitely some stuff in here that is different as far as how things turned out plot-wise that you probably wouldn't see as far as a plot structure type of thing that you may not would see in other books. So there was definitely some twists and turns in here that I enjoyed. And I honestly, once I was done with that, I wanted to immediately go back and read the first one again, just to see if I picked up on a lot of the stuff. And now that I know kind of where it's going, can I pick up on more things from the beginning? So I could see this one very easily being a series that I just, a comfort series that I bring out when I just kind of need some help, or I just want a feel-good story, It's not it's not a feel-good story. It's basically about a bunch of people in hell and a rough, not good, they're all bad people in a sense, but at the same time, it's very comforting. I don't know if it doesn't really make any sense, but that's where my brain's at. So, like I mentioned, I don't know what I even told you. I think it was Inscription. That's not right. I told you something. So like I mentioned, this one was in for Inscription. So still let me know your thoughts on whether or not I can count that. I think I can, because it would go there, but either way, I finished it. So I have technically 2 under my belt. And then, as you saw last night, I started The Ballad of Never After. Now, this is my favorite edition. So the book itself is actually presented and designed as a book within the book. So this one is The Inglorious History of House Slaughterwood. So that's, I don't know what that is yet. We've barely made much progress in this one. I have read the first 5 chapters or so, so I think I'm a good well, maybe 4 or 5 chapters, so I'm a little less than 50 pages within this book, so really not too far, but I'm hoping to dive in a little bit more over the weekend. We'll see. What I like about this book so far is it starts off directly after the events of the first one. I felt like the first book kind of ended on a cliffhanger reveal of sorts. What I enjoyed about this book is it starts with a letter. So it starts with this section right here, and it's a letter that Evangeline, our main character, is writing to herself as kind of like a reminder of some of the stuff that's been going on. And it sounds really cheesy, but as far as the plot itself that I don't want to spoil for you, it makes sense why she's writing herself this letter. But in this letter, she basically explains what happened in the first book, and it's a very clear, easy way for the reader like me who may have put some time between the first and second book and may need some help remembering certain things. It's a very easy, simple way to get all the information I need for the story to move forward. Now, of course, when we meet characters in this book for the first time, as far as the first time in this book, it, will remind you who they are and that kind of stuff. But I thought that was a very ingenious way of ensuring that the reader gets the information as far as what they need, and a kind of like a quick recap of book 1 before they dive into book 2 in a way that makes sense for the plot of this book. So I am very interested. Things have already started happening. Like I said, I'm like maybe 40 pages, 30, 40 pages within this book, and I'm invested already in like what is going on, and I'm so interested in this book and this story. So I am very excited about where we're going with this one, and I will definitely talk way more about it in the next one, but it follows the events of Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So that's what I'm going to be carrying over into next week. I am going to go ahead and end this video here, this week's video here, just because we are actually going to be spending most of the weekend. In the US, it's Easter this weekend, so I have tomorrow off, which is Friday, and instead of trying, it's just going to be easier since we're kind of going out of town a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here, and I'll talk to you more about maybe some thoughts in this one as I make my way and some plans that I have for the weekend in my next vlog. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know all your thoughts on the books that I've mentioned in today's vlog. If you've read any of them, as always, let me know your thoughts, or let me know if you're participating in the readathon or not, just how your first week of April has been going. Has your reading improved? I was able to complete 2 books, which is good. I have many plans for next month, or not next month, next week. So they're all ambitious. We'll see what happens, but stay tuned for that. Let me know how your reading is going. I would love to know. But if you like this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you'd like to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there, as well as other fun bookish links. So check all that out, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!